Greetings everyone, please give a moment to make sure everything's set on up. And looks like everything's starting to boot on up. YouTube's being a little bit stupid. It looks like everything is booted on up. Give a moment to activate the live chat windows. And looks like everything is good to go. Give me another one, check my other computer. And looks like everything is good to go. So let's go ahead and get started. Greetings everyone, and Grade here for another Advanced Wars by Web replay. So on the south side is the Nor Eclipse Cole. We got Joan Ra Ra Ra. Yeah, that's it. I misspoke my cadence there, so it sort of came out a little bit wild there. As well on the north side is the... what is this? Oh, Amber Blossom. Is that a new color, or is that... this doesn't seem familiar. Amber Blossom Sammy, we got Scandalous. Sorry, I thought of the old cartoon known as Recess. That's whenever I see that word, I think of that. Either way, let's get started. This map is, of course, a triple base map, one airport. Sammy, of course, gets 10% less firepower on said airport and said ground vehicles, but her teacup at least be a little bit more mobile. And maybe she can utilize a black boat or a lander here. Probably not. I not think I've seen once a black boat, let alone a lander, this map. But maybe. Wait, no. I don't think the plus one move range is needed for that as well. APC is quite common though, and sort of hard to tell. But Cole has gone for a tank. I always like to see Cole. I always root for Cole to play, since Cole may be one of the worst seals in the game. Players probably would argue Flak or Jugger would probably be worse. But honestly, I sort of think Cole could be the worst, since Cole gets largely overshadowed by Adder, because having 2 movement costs, 2-star cost for the power is far more useful. The trade-off is the Cole does get additional firepower bonuses when attacking from roads, which is nice, but something you should try to avoid to begin with. Cole has gone for double recon and a tank, and has gone for a T-Copter now. Pretty early T-Copter, isn't this? Doesn't the capture there? Does spot the... is that going away? I actually don't have had this issue before. Give one moment. Day 8. Index 14. I'm going to just do a refresh. And I think everything's good. I don't think I've actually had that pop up there. I think I see that quite a lot in Ming's videos. But that's the first time it ever popped up for me. So am I doing something right then? And the way we've got another tank deployed in the field. We've got artillery and recon over here. Again. Recon push forward. Okay, it disappeared this time. I'm going to just leave it be. Could it be... it might be the Amber Blossom, since I haven't really cast much of Amber Blossom. I wonder if Amber Blossom's causing that. That'll be my next strategy. If that pops again, it doesn't want to go away, I'll switch Sammy's color. That's my guess. Sorry. Sorry for the weird things that popped up. Do now have the mech deployed on the field. And a battle coupled by Sammy. Minus 10% firepower is not too bad. She's going to have to deal with minus 10% firepower for everything. Though it will be minus 0% when we reach her here. And why can't I highlight that? I swear, sometimes I find invisible boxes like Wait, that box that came pop up is still there. Look, that's roughly the width of the box. Sorry. Let's just ignore the fact, and I'll just try to mouse over stuff and not notice the minor little bugs that are popping up that is really not important to cover when casting. Got another tank and recon there, so we've got, what, triple recon now? Yeah, triple recon, 3 tanks versus 1 tank artillery battlecopter in recon, and 1 mech. Cole can make use of mechs since he also gets +1 movement range. I don't know why, for the longest time I can never tell if he's a boy or girl. I think he's based off as a Chinese person. Howdy. Like I said, danger, danger, danger. That's clearly the Australian, I think you have more than Steve Irwin that says that. Recon, push away forward. Oh yeah, if I remember correctly, there is a 12-hour time difference here. So it's probably 4 AM for you, barring daylight savings and all that sort, isn't it? You're waking up early, aren't you? And then, Australia probably does have more than 1 time zone. The only one Australian I did talk to in the past was a Callum from General's Gentleman about a couple things for my Company Heroes 2 mod. Artillery battlecopter. And so our time zone difference was 12 hours, which was pretty easy to coordinate with each other. Since I'm a morning person, or more likely a morning person, it works great for, well, anybody who's not a morning person. Don't know if he's a morning person or not. You are QLD, I'm guessing it's the time zone. So 6 AM, got it. I can't tell you if that's east or west coast. Does interrupt the capture. Wait, no. Oh, I can't highlight that because that box popped up there. Let's see, 4 capture progress, so that does not interrupt the capture since there's 5 capture progress remaining. Boy, the fact that I can't highlight stuff due to that bug is actually becoming a bit of a problem. Because now I have to do math in my head when it comes to Sammy. We got a fair amount of infantry and tank up there. Does hit the infantry down south, fully stopping that capture. The artillery is on top of the forest. And got a number of recons here with a pair of tanks. Mech is a ranged tank, but the tank should have vision of the mech, so you can run away. Against the Sammy mech, you should run away. And he does spot... There's that air there. Alright, day 12. Sorry, that air's been popping up. I'm going to swap out Sammy for a similar orange color. Brown should work for now. Hopefully that will prevent that from being bugged up again. My apologies. I tried to keep the players' colors that they selected, and yet the air didn't pop up there. So I think there was something wrong with the what's it called again? Amber Blossom. Does... Or maybe not. Let's see if it goes away if I do some clicks. Takes out the T-copter there. Capture a property, loads a T-copter. Oh, if I click on it, it goes away. Got it. I'm an idiot. Oops, that's the person's name. Revert back there and voila. I am an idiot. Whenever error pop up, I try not to click on stuff. But apparently clicking on it does work. What a first day to do a cast, or first cast of the day. Battlecopter does strike the recon, plenty of targets there. Anti-air is pretty far away. Both players' power does cost 1 or cost the same amount. And both effectively give +1 movement range. Well, Simon gets +1 movement range on our infantry, the more important part for her. Well, of course, Cole gets +1 movement range for everything. So quite similar in that aspect. Also very not similar whatsoever. Battlecopter, tank, infantry, infantry. And does get a strike infantry unit there. Sammy, no way, Sammy Powers. I'm not sure what you're referring to. My apologies. Does get a good shot there. Infantry hit does hit infantry. Finish it off. Got a bit of a road bonus there, for whatever that's worth. Does hit the mech with a good amount of damage. Tank can get a good counterattack, but there's too many tanks there. Better couple nearby. The front line's starting to smash each other over here. True. I have seen double time occasionally be used to full. But the thing is, well, when it comes also to her victory march, if you can't get enough stuff to capture, maybe it's a good idea to just pop the power in for a combat bonus. Cole right now is getting some great momentum down south, that's for sure. Sammy's almost pushed off in this entire flank. The battle cop needs to come down south. There's a tank right there behind her face. But right now, Sammy does need us help stabilize the region. Maybe medium tank could be quite useful for that. She has 26,000, so she could eye for full Neo tank. Takes out the T-copter. Hits the recon, spots the anti-air, but will not be able to range it. So one of the battle copters are likely to go on down, and we could see a trail of woe being put on the field. Which, for the most part, only should really eye for the power, if unless you need the superpowers to range. There is a Neo tank. But a trail of woe could be used for the combat bonuses. It all depends how many units along roads. This tank could be hit. Oh, infantry don't need to worry about the bonus damage from roads all too much. Activates the force march there for plus 1 movement range and plus 10% additional firepower from roads. So gap plus should be spent there. Of course, a plus 10 plus 7 activating your power. Tank's taking a fair amount of damage. Have to overcome the 3-star defense of the comm tower. Anti-air will strike the battle copter. Probably could have got that before launching the power to get a bit of additional power charge. Anti-air, tank, and recon. And there's a double time. So let's see how well the double time does. Hits that infantry unit there, does pick it off. 5 health tank and strike the 2 health tank there. Does actually try to double tap that anti-air. Rig falls back, or APC. Does not take out the tank there. Battlecopter on battlecopter. Does. Some other reason it's not getting as much firepower benefits I would expect. Artillery, mech, straightforward. Yeah. Sammy super is far weaker and fog where you need potential see vision all potential captures. That's understandable, but still probably worth the gamble to try to sack a 1 health infantry unit to capture a property. Not 1 health, just a infantry unit there. Battlecopter, tank, infantry, and tank. Sammy ends the turn of 126,000. Cole starts the turn with 95, so Cole is about over a turn behind. It felt like both players' power was not very useful. Of course, Cole can get another power relatively soon. Sammy has enough for, almost has enough for another power, just needs a tiny bit more funding there. Now the artillery's in range of the Neo tank. Does get some picks there. Artillery does strike the tank there. Go away. Battlecopter, tank, infantry. Man, it's so hard to tell the properties. Nor Eclipse being extra black hole. Hard to see stuff. And she does have enough for another double time, but don't think she really should use it. I can see it being useful for allowing a bunch of mechs sprint their way forward, which is simply not the case. Artillery gets a great strike on the Neo tank. Get some good picks there. And man, it's been a bit of a brawl in the center of the map. We do have another Trail of Woe available. Infantry, battlecopter, tank, and tank. Bold Trail of Woe. I wonder if Cole's going to sack his Neo-Tank on the Neo-Tank. Does take out that unit there. Neo-Tank strikes the artillery, does not knock it out, even with a road bonus. A diminished road bonus. Recon, push way forward, strikes the infantry unit down there. Have to pick off those one infantry units there, or else they could just be forced march and capture something. Such as HQ, which only has a 1 health cruiser there, so that can easily result in a loss with a victory march. Because I think a regular tank should have no problem dealing with that. Does finish off the recon there. Units falling back. It may be actually worth to delete the cruiser and put a full health infantry unit there just to have a little bit extra protection. Be a bit more difficult deal for one full health infantry unit than a 1 health cruiser. Because they also get full benefits of the defense stars. I'm pretty sure the cruiser does benefit from the defense stars of the HQ. Nope, 1 health lost the duel there. When it comes to capturing 25,000 versus 24,000, almost has enough for a victory march. Battlecopter, artillery, recon, and recon. And Cole goes for a full bomber. And right now, Sammy has no anti-air, no counter to it whatsoever. Only thing technically is a 1 health cruiser. There is a... Go away. Go away. There is a 4 health infantry unit there in front of the cruiser, making a little bit more of a meat shield there. Go. Oh. Stop. I don't know why that keeps on popping up. We may see a victory march. It all depends to get us power charge. She may wait and prep for this turn and try to get multiple captures going at once. Interrupts that capture down south. New tank strike regular tank there. It's the tank there. A lot of units have already moved this turn, or there's actually not too many of them on the field, just 7. Does get some picks there. Paul just needs to set up for a victory march next turn, and maybe try to go for HQ capture. Go for the win if possible. There is infantry units nearby. Are they actually close enough? They'll get close to moon range, right? So 1, 2, 3, 4... Excuse me, 5. Nope, they're not close enough. Though, could perhaps either... Calm tower there. Does get a nice little pick there. Does spot the Neo tank. This Neo tank may want to fall back to a C, just get a little bit extra health to help deal with the other Neo tank. 6 health is not a really good chance to do a duel with a full health Neo tank, but 8 health is manageable. Anti-air tank, though bomber could be quite nice. There is anti-air now on the field for Sami. Deletes the cruiser and puts the Neo tank there. That's going to be very hard to displace with a victory march. After all, it does have 4 defense stars minus 40%, which is still a fair amount. Oh! Double time. I'm so surprised it's double time rather than super. I thought she would just set up for a good super. But she's gone for a double time once again. She still does retain a large power charge here if you look. It's behind all the text, but 54,000 out of 100. So she still has halfway there to her next super. She's probably trying to eye for the HQ capture there. That's probably her plan. She is going to try to go with the HQ capture. Artillery's in range, but at least in range of the tank and infantry unit there. Vision range is another matter, though. Let's strike that tank there. And there's another Trail of Woe, which will put the bomber to right there, so we'll be out of range. Well, can hit a couple tanks there. Goes for a full Trail of Woe. Could have just gone for a Forest March to help hit those tanks in the center. But counterattack here, 8 health tank does strike the Neo tank. And with a road bonus as well. Bomber will strike a regular tank there. Battlecopter strikes regular tank, no road bonus. This is a broken pipe scene. What precisely double time does? Just gonna pull this on my screen. Double time precisely. Foot soldiers get +1 movement range and their attack increased to 50% from 30%. So it's basically a sprint for the infantry. It's honestly a little bit on the expensive side, but we'll combine her day to day. The +1 movement range does help out with capturing. Looks like Cole's Neo tank is getting hit pretty hard. Artillery getting in range. We have a 1 health tank left on the HQ. Make that now a 0 health tank. Couple anti-airs here. 1 bomber. If Cole's able to deal with 1 anti-air, be in a good position. But right now, Cole's pretty far behind. 148 versus 89. So Cole's about 2 turns behind. That actually over 2 turns behind. This is getting to the point where he is really starting to hurt. Bomber does strike there, has no vision anti-air who's in range, but the bomber is on top of the HQ. Doesn't get any defense stars, but at least make it very hard to capture. But the anti-air should be able to still be able to one-shot it. We'll get pretty close. A couple of those last attacks were involving the +1 move range with the infantry unit there. Tank, anti-air, infantry, and battlecopter. Anti-air does not take out the bomber. Sammy's less firepower did come in pain there. Because if I were to fix all this, see here, if it wasn't Sammy, say, who's neutral? Andy. Still wouldn't be a one-shot. Oh, anti-air's... I must be thinking of something else. Victory March now available, and thanks to that bomber being on top of the HQ, it did save Cole from losing the game. But Cole did have to sack a bomber not to lose the game. I must be thinking of anti-air's one-shotting bombers when powers are active with other COs, not with Samuel, among other things. No Neo tank of the field. Instant 148 versus 80. Cole's starting to lose more and more grasp in the game. Artillery takes on the Neo tank. Gets a recon. Bomber finish off recon. Regular tanks got on top of HQ. Pops the power, which also gives him plus 10% defense. Very important with that HQ. Just gotta hold the line to avoid the victory march. You gotta fully kill off the infantry units there or stop them. This full infantry unit there is in range of the HQ, as long as this one is prevents from movement. But I don't think there's any fully way to fully stop this one. So you have to surround the tank there. At least this anti-air can quick go on down to this artillery, so there'll be 2 points attack on this tank. I don't think there's enough nearby to displace the tank, so it looks like the Victory March will not happen. Actually, the anti-air can probably finish off the anti-air. Let's see. Let's see if there's any way for this can be displaced. Likely a one-shot. It's hard to say what percentage health has remaining. And then we'll have to double tap this tank. The artillery can soften up. It is going to have a lot of defense stars. So full health battlecopter, let's assume. Yeah, I don't think there's any way to kill that tank this turn. We have the victory march though. Granted, did get also plus 10% firepower. Capture the comm tower. That does change some math there. For example, that's basically guaranteed to kill, assuming it's not at 10% health and rolls bad luck. Does take out the tank, does not take out the tank there. Finish off the infantry. Looks like she's not trying to go with the HQ capture. Maybe she is. Full strike there. Artillery softs it up down to 5 health, but this our battlecopter cannot finish it off. Does get trapped there. And if one of the ATOs are still moving around, Paula could finish off the bomber there to capture that property as a consolation prize. Yeah, it looks like that Victory March wasn't super great. She captured, like, I think this was already slotted to be captured, so she, like, captured, like, 1, maybe 2 properties. Right now, the income distance is only by 2,000, so not great. It's hard to say if Nicole did anything extremely wrong. It's been a knockout, drag-out brawl, that's for sure. Battlecopter, anti-air, tank, bomber strikes the artillery, finish it off there. And of course does not have to worry about the Victory March capturing the HQ. Yeah, that Victory March probably should have held on for another turn. Didn't think she captured enough properties to make it warranted. But she did capture the comm tower, which is another critical asset. Now she has plus 2% firepower, which overcomes minus 10%. So she is overall ahead compared to Cole. So the HQ was no go, but probably catching the comm tower still makes it worth it for the Victory March. Got a fighter deploying field and a bunch of infantry. Fighter is definitely going to be overkill, especially for our chaos division, since we see only battlecopters left up in the air. The bomber has gone down. Another force march available. The issue is with Sammy on this map is very big and open, so mechs with transports is less viable. The HQ exposed, though she has that. Yep, but was unsuccessful to say the least. But another thing as well, the comm tower is exposed like we saw. You think does strike the anti-air. It's not a stray recon. Cole did go for a heavy number of recons, maybe a little bit too heavy recons. I think Cole had like 3 recons by turn 6. Another force march is available. And Sami goes for full stealth. How nasty. And already has a fighter on the field. So Sami right now ends with 151, Cole has 86. It's been pretty stagnant at that, which is not great for Cole. Not to mention more props being flipped, so while the game goes on, the worse Cole off does. He'll just go for a force march. Artillery does strike the Neo tank from planes. But there's no trains or automobiles. Trying to flip that comm tower now. And here we'll get a finish off that battlecopter there. Tank will strike the tank. And hits the anti-air there. Does finish off there. You probably thought Samuel would mech spam. Possibly. Battlecopter, tank, recon, and infantry. And the fighter does take out the battlecopter. Tank does strike the artillery. Neo tank finish it off. And not next to any roads, if that does make a difference when it comes to Cole. Simon's pretty close to another victory march, so he probably needs to end a turn with a tank on the HQ at minimum. Battlecopter, infantry, tank, and anti-air. Puts a 1 health tank on top of the HQ. I don't think that's enough. Anti-air does find the fighter. Actually, there's no infantry unit in range of the HQ. Sasami needs to start positioning some infantry nearby, start trying to capture the HQ. 5 tiles, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So an infantry unit on top of this missile platform can't sprint to the HQ. T-copter, anti-air, tank, and infantry. Oh, got the victory march there. Out of range HQ does immediately flip that city. Fighter will finish off the 2 health, 1 health battlecopter. Does not finish off the 2 health battlecopter. Maybe Sandstone Eye for the comm tower again. It is capturing good number of properties, so let's just gonna go. Wait, 32 out of 35. Does get stuck there. Camouflage is there. Tank, battlecopter, infantry. Looks like does not go for, I don't know what this type of victory is called. Let's just call it supremacy. You now have another force march. He's right now Cole is 90,000 versus 134, so sort of evened out in favor of Cole a little bit. Still very behind. Battlecopter's on top of the HQ, which will give you a good amount of protection. When I say protection, I mean the HQ, not the battlecopter. A very important distinction when it comes to Sammy, when fighting Sammy: anti-air, infantry, and battlecopter. Stealth will pick off the, or does not pick off the tank there. So I realized the battlecopter didn't really have more points of damage to it, as a 10% defense came in. It's the battlecopter, might as well. Battlecopter, tank. 32,000 versus 18, that's quite important. Artillery's in range. Trying to flip some properties, quite understandable. Recon gets the top of the HQ, nowhere near close to a victory march, so that's good. For Cole. Infantry, recon, and full fighter. Interrupts that capture there. Still tapping some of these battlecopters for 2 points of damage. Fully stops that capture there. This one looks like will fully commence. Neo tank, infantry, recon, and battlecopter. Ooh, double trap. Oh, and also while T-Cop did get trapped there, you still can dismount. Tank's making a nice counterattack there. Anti-air does finish off that fighter. The stealth is not... It's still hidden at the moment. Not like the anti-air can deal with it. Just to keep an eye where the next strike for the by the stealth, and then the fighter can simply pursue it and get a spotter later on. Let's look at the battlecopter there. Just resupply on the battlecopter. And looks like trying to flip the HQ now. Remember as well, 4 defense stars. Maybe pop double time to get a little bit extra defense going. Does go ahead and kill off that unit there. So we got a anti-air and recon that should be enough to fully interrupt the capture. Battlecopter, tank, recon, and anti-air. Definitely probably want to go for a force march if possible. Just get a little extra firepower going. Oh, and resign there. My computer sort of bugged out there for a moment. That's Angerade saying, thank you for watching, and on to the next replay. Next replay was one that was submitted into me. Of course, I try to avoid who submit replays into me until the end, just because most players submit in replays that they win. I always give props to those who submit in replays they lose. Because let's be frank, most time you don't try to share replay unless you win it. That seems pretty good. Greetings everyone, and Grade here with another Age of Empires Advanced Wars by Web replay. Spawn on the south side as Jade Sun Adder. We got Mu G6. Spawn on the north side as the Nor Eclipse, the more blacker hole Adder. We got Matemon. This replay was submitted to me, but I won't reveal it until the end of the game because most times players submit in the replay that they usually win. Those always give prop to those who submit replays to me who lose. So let's get started. This is a 2-base map, 1 seaport, but there is a good number of shores here, so black boats could be quite nice. There's also a pipe seam here, which can be destroyed for a bit more traversement. Also another seaport here, so we could. There's also a pair of shores there. So can't traverse here any blue water ships, so only black boats and landers have full traversement of the seas. So battleships could still be pushed forward and provide some bombardment. There's also an airport here, got a T-copter there. Could push forward, help drop off on forward locations. A lot of shores here, which means recons have pretty good mobility this map. Got another tank up on the field. Looks like the seamless loop is not doing all too well when it comes to the CO themes. Another tank. We do have, of course, a black boat here. Both compounds being obtained by North. I'm going to have to segment these players by the color rather than players. Or the COs. So it looks like Nor Eclipse player is eyeing for the comm towers. Some players just going for properties. So got a lot more captures there. 14,000 versus 12,000. Tanks heading down the south. The tanks are not in range of each other. Both starting to posture up. In here, infantry. Lots of capture there, so 17,000 versus 14,000 at the moment. And now got the battlecopter over here, heading over here. The anti-air, if you look at this path, can go down this way. But reaching over here is a little bit slow. You need the anti-air to pull it out here to go down south a little more easily. Because in this case, to go down south, go here, then more here, but to go down here, you have to go backwards over here, so... Maybe it would have been a little bit better to pull out the anti-air on this base. Either way, North has not claimed these two cities here, while the Jade Sun has captured his. Tank just setting up, trying to perhaps stay out of range of these tanks and not trying to push forward just yet. Now the tank and battlecopter is heading up north towards the anti-air. I think the anti-air probably should move towards around here, maybe around here, so it can go left or right. Remember as well, in this game, Pythagorean theorem does not exist. There are no shortcuts, unless through pipe seams. Battlecopter and anti-air with another infantry unit there. Does pick off that one unit there. And T-copter does drop off there. Does get a bit of retaliation. Tanks heading up north, trying to zone out the anti-air. Got 2 tanks here, 1 battlecopter here. Both players' composition are quite similar, though right now Nor Eclipse could be a bit more aggressive down here. 2 tanks to charge forward, and tank can either counterattack on 1 or fall back. So I think Nor Eclipse can head down south a bit more aggressively right now with a single versus a single tank. Tank infantry. Yeah, I think these 2 tanks should push forward. Maybe the battle can come down south, but it's still an anti-air to worry about. Let's pick off a unit there. Yeah, I think shoveling these guys is a bad choice. Because if both push forward, then one can receive damage, the other one just simply provides fire support. Up north, we do have 2 tanks, 2 battlecopters, and the black boat. Catching up the seaport there, there could be something stupid like a battleship there. That will basically lock down that entire region. Though that would be quite expensive. Then comes for, he has right now 25,000. Could go for a Neo tank or bomber. Does go for a bomber. Anti-air's up north. No anti-air's down south, so maybe north needs to get anti-air to head down south for the winter. Infantry, anti-air, and battlecopter. It's something into there. North still has both comm towers, which is very important. He has plus release and firepower. Bomber heading over to the east. They're shuffling up north. And the bomber's being very aggressive because there's no counter here. The bomber can just go in and kill everything. Capturing up the comm tower up north. Both sides has nowhere near for even their power. When I say nowhere near, I mean they can easily obtain it, but has generated no energy right now. This entire game's been quite bloodless. Both players hovering around slightly over 4,000 damage dealt and received. Maybe a fighter's going to be spawned out here? Oh, I can click on the structure now. Has it always been like that as a when it comes to caster vision? I don't remember you being able to do this as a caster. Could pop out a fighter. Oh yeah, my player ID does not match either of these players who are currently playing. I know you can do that in Tiny Wars. There's a fighter there. So ambush fighter potentially. And remember as well, fighter can reach this far, and both players are adder, which means they can reach even farther. Anti-air's starting to push their way forward. You may want to start eyeing the posture of the anti-airs towards the airport. Anti-air tank. And looks like Nor Eclipse on push forward, gains a number of small picks there, now gains some sizable hits. Able to hit both those tanks. There are 5 battlecopters here, but the tank escort is gone, so these triple anti-air pose an existential threat to these battlecopters. Battlecopters just meaning to run away. This is a great edge there. Those, ironically, those tanks being pushed forward was, well, they had a bit of a meat shield in front of them, but since they were in range, it means his opponent was able to knock out the threat to the anti-airs. So north appears to be lost for south. And he has just enough forces here to keep his opponent at bay. Tanks to fall back, get a little bit of merge there. Battlecopters withdrawing. Iron just pull back out of range the anti-airs. Which I suppose with the power and superpower they could reach maybe 1 or 2 of them. These tanks are backed up into a corner. New tank infantry. And now North is eyeing for the side slip. Takes out that 1 infantry there, flips the property, or starting to. It's infantry unit there. Tank on tank. And Bill's managed Radiance has single battle copter there. Very nice. Down south, just leading a charge. If it hits to the anti-air, then the battle cops have full immunity, though there's still more battle cops there. And the fighter, let's see, this is the maximum range there, so cannot reach the bomber. We'll need its full superpower to reach the bomber. And I think as well, if there's enough tanks here to exert dominance down south. So sure, maybe the battle copters will go down, but the tanks will just clean everything else up. The bomber can't push forward as long as the fighters in the region. So right now, it seems like Nor Eclipse is in a winning position. Has 183 in the field versus 143, so he's about 2 turns ahead. Blah. A side slip counterattack. It's one battle copter. Soften up zone tank. Bomber does not take out that tank there. Trying to flip that property there. Looks like you're trying to do a bit of a desperate counterattack. Edging units slightly forward. This one does not have the power charge for a power. But taking out a bomber sure does help. Tank on anti-air. Battlecopter hits tank. Finish off the anti-air there. Battlecopter, no, that's T-copter. And Overwatch is pulling back in the northern region. There's not a Neo tank there, so maybe you go for something else own valuable asset for that region. Neo tank infantry, that's one valuable asset. Does put some rounds into the battlecopter. Battlecopter, infantry, and tank. Hits the anti-air. And anti-air goes down. Hits the tank there. Finish off the anti-air. Finish off the infantry there. Goes for another power. Which maybe enough help arrange himself here. Same infantry unit twice. Anti-air finish off another infantry unit there. This one now has access to a superpower. Looks like everything else. Oh, managed to use a pulse of moon race to actually retreat these units back away to the corner, which is actually very important there. And almost another side slip. And his opponent has resigned. Thank you, Motimon, for submitting the replay to me. This is Angrade saying thank you for watching, and on to the next replay. Let's see now. The replay submitting to me is now complete, and now time for a really big map. This is going to be a long one. And I won't say how long, because I always like to keep a little bit element of suspense. Let's see. First, I'm going to trim up this map. Trim it up to right here. The map is large, filled with a lot of dead space. Shrink it down a little bit. And that's pretty much the best I can do. This map is so large, a lot of dead space, but I don't really want to hide the bases up north and south, so this will have to do. Greetings everyone, and Great here with another Advanced Wars by Web replay. It's on the south side as the Black Hole Grit. We got Sammy Best Girl. It's on the north side as the Silver Claw Max. We got Joe Star. On a side note as well, when it comes to this map, since this map is large, filled with a large amount of dead space, I have trimmed up the map a little bit off the sides. I will let you know if something gets moved off the side, but there's a lot of dead space left and right, so I tried to help minimize it so it's a little bit easier to see everything. By the way, let's get started. This map is a 3-base map, 2 airports, 1 forward, 1 reserve, pair of comm towers for both players, One is very securable. Another one's very reasonably securable. Generally, I don't see the comp towers get flipped all too often. Howdy. Hey, there's a Max there. Max versus Grit's also a one's melee, one's ranged. I will take a look at that after this game. Just let me know after this game. Though, this is going to be a long game, so I'm not sure how long this is going to last. And Grit goes for artillery. Not big surprise. Max does go some recons. Recons could be quite nice helping with all the artillery, a little bit more cheaper option to counter. Grit's starting to capture the airport over here. Probably meant for income. He does get minus 20% firepower on battle copters, which is not as bad as Drake, but still. Yeah, this game should be a pretty good one. It apparently took 107 days to complete real time. I love Global League. There's a reason why I cast Global League more often than Live League, because players can take time and think. Across 3 months. Yeah! Though I do understand Live League because it gives you a more immediate focus. You have a battlecopter now some... Oh, Recon does get trapped. Battlecopter up here, and of course, Max does get plus 20% firepower bonus as a counterpart to Grit's minus 20% firepower. Additionally, he did pull in the back one, so maybe I'm going to go for right, or just doesn't want to be immediately spotted. Got double artillery and infantry there. Grit's getting this artillery line going. Recon gets a good strike there, even on 3 stars to get a fair amount of damage. And both these Recons are going to be dead next turn. Yeah, I think actually Max could eye a bit more heavy recon composition. Due to the amount of roads on the map, they should have pretty good mobility. Max should not be going for medium tanks this game, nor neo tanks. He needs a large number of mobile units to help range all the artillery. Battlecopters will still be a good call. Grit may, of course, probably should deploy still some ATRs, but may have to deploy a missile too. And he'll get access to a Days of Ruin equivalent missile. In Days of Ruin, missiles got a buff of have a 6 range rather than 5, which is actually makes it a bit more usable. Does double tap that one there. Somehow the recons are still alive. He did not range the those recons there. Of course, the recons here are still in range of this artillery piece. Does not in range of this one. Takes out one recon. Takes out that one unit there. Sometimes this infantry's going to go on top of this mountain. Infantry, anti-air, battlecopter, and infantry. Does get trapped there. Gets that infantry there. Finish off the recon. Now the HQ is exposed. Is it going to be HQ cap? Probably not. Things. And the attack gets immediately squashed by their artillery line. Double. Huh. Grit goes for a double mech. I suppose they're just good enough to deal with recons. Granted, they do have... Wait. Except foot soldiers get minus 20% firepower. His mechs are completely and utterly ordinary. I had to remind myself of that because... Let's be frank. Most players don't even get a single mech the entire game. And so Grit's mechs are acceptable. Max could eye for this column tower. Oh boy. He's going to get that column tower. 3 column tower max. Things just going to die a lot this game, aren't they? Grid's artillery is already pretty strong. Plus troops and firepower and +1 range is immense. Recon does all the stuff. He is trying to go for this column tower here himself, but there's enough infantry nearby to say no. Oh, missile. The missile knows where it is because it knows where it's not. Oh, we got a max force. So he gets +1 movement range, and I mentioned a little bit extra firepower. He's able to one-shot the artillery pieces and gets trapped on the anti-air. That's actually quite big. Takes out the mech in one shot. He's just blitzing his way forward. There's good enough battlecopters here. The missile may need to shoot down one of those battlecopters base lock itself. The amount of fighters in the field, maybe a good idea for Grid to go for, or battlecopters in the field, maybe a good idea for Grid to go for a fighter. It would have a lot of overkill, which means it would do normal damage for the battlecopters and probably still at least one-shot them. Battlecopter tank infantry. Max does have at least 1 battlecopter field, which is nice. But I think this may be time where Grit should eye for a fighter. Yeah, launching a sniper attack will allow him the range of one of the battlecopters. He does not do that. I more than understand. And there's also 2 airports map. If Max wanted, he could go double battlecopter turn. He has 22,000, so that costs 18, then 3 more thousand infantry. He is still able to one-shot battlecopters. Will still be able to do that if he loses a comm tower? Sorry, just give me a moment. At 108, it will actually be a coin flip. More weighted above 50-50% chance in his favor, but still. Anti-air, and tank. He sees the battlecopters. No fighter on the field. Takes out the T-copter. The missile, he spotted it. Strikes it. It's on 3 defense stars, but still took a pretty sizable hit there. And losing the comm tower means he's going to have to deal with coin flips to take on the battlecopters. But he can go for a sniper attack to give his anti-airs +7 firepower. Excuse me. I think there's maybe an argument to make sniper attack here. The difference between sniper attack and super snipe. Sniper attack increases his indirect fire from 20% to 40%, and not to mention get an additional range going from +1 +2. Super snipe does not give any additional firepower bonuses, but does increase the range by additional amount as well. So it's best to go for sniper attack unless you absolutely need the extra range. Not to mention, keeping the power charge open means you go for a lot of sniper attacks. Okay, he should still have the ability to one-shot battlecopters now. Does get trapped there, but does provide some important spotting. And it's artillery line. Interrupts the capture there. Missile gets a good amount of damage there. Anti-air strikes down south. Oh, that anti-air is not in range of anything either way. Anti-air. Artillery and infantry. Let's see, 96,000 versus 97, so Max has a full turn of income ahead advantage. He has 22,000 versus 18. Gert's pretty slow, so he didn't really get a strong enough capture game, so he's probably slowly going to be whittled down. And not to mention, he's down by a comm tower. But artillery is a bit more cost effective. Nope, does get trapped there in the end. Which allows the battlecopter to strike the battlecopter there. Does manage to get the coin flip. Or rolled not unlucky. Another sniper attack there. He had enough power charge for a super snipe, so... Or that was Max's power charge maxing out. Does spot Max's recon there with the artillery, so that was a bad placement there. Does go ahead and shell everything in range. He needs a round of infantry. Goes for battlecopter, infantry, and artillery. Right now he only has 9 infantry is not too bad. Grid max in comparison has 11. Goes for max force. And that battlecopter was in range and immediately gets picked off. Looks like it's lacking spotters up north. Units falling back, reorging. Tank, battlecopter, and infantry. 114 versus 81, so Max has about a turn advantage still. Shelling everything once again. Infantry units move on this compound to resecure it. Gotta make sure you have equal footing. Plus, with 2 counters, at least his firepower for his ground vehicles be normal. Once again, puts a battlecopter next to anti-air, but this time it's a 2 health anti-air. Max should still just sack the anti-air onto it. Got 3 points of damage and still alive. Let's go for another max force there. Not sure that's a great option. Could have saved up. Does have a number of artillery pieces there, but we've already got 2 artillery pieces there, and this artillery is almost out of ammo, but it's on top of the HQ. Infantry, anti-air, recon, and another battlecopter. Trying to flip the comm tower now. Immediately pops a grid sniper attack. Let's see, right now 2 capture blocks remaining, so it's not interrupted. Puts both of those tanks down to 1 health. Gets finished off there and there. And this property will be flipped, and every property loss is very important for Grit. He can't really capture all too well. Tank, infantry. Battlecopter strike battlecopter. And does interrupt the capture of that comm tower down there as well. Battlecopter, tank, recon, and infantry. Mech does pick off some of those units there. Artillery, infantry. Right now, the 6,000 income difference is very, very noticeable. Not to mention the extra comm tower. Make it so easier for Max to finish off everything, one-shot everything. Battlecopter, tank, and infantry. Does get trapped there. 120,000 versus 70,000, so 50,000 behind. Grit is about 2.5 turns behind. That's getting a critically bad state. Does finish off the battlecopter there. Artillery gets a good strike there. Mech finished off the tank. ATR could hit this battlecopter down south. Got a good number of hits there on the battlecopters. He so far has not lost a coin flip when dealing with those battlecopters. A weighted coin flip, I should say. Tank, battlecopter, and base skip. Another max blast available. He's so far deployed out none of them. Overall, he doesn't really need it. Artillery are a little bit squishy. If he's able to one-shot with his power, that's all he needs. Yeah, all he needs to measure out, it doesn't need +2 range or not. Anti-air, infantry. Does get trapped there. Next to anti-air. And gets trapped there. Ooh, the forests down south are having issues. Oh, something I should mention. As I mentioned beforehand, there's stuff that's off the side of my screen. There is a 4 health artillery right around about this kind of part. So my apology if you missed that. Somebody's actually using that part of the map. Somehow the forests are actually being fought in a grit versus max game of all things. T-copter, tank, battlecopter, infantry. So 5 unit deployment there. Does take out that tank there as well. He did manage to recapture his column tower, which is very important. And it looks like Max overextended, and now Max is down to 86 versus 98. Of course, those day-to-day, so he still has a slight advantage, but it's nothing too significant at this moment. Both players have their super. Battlecopter, infantry, battlecopter, recon, and infantry. If he needs more infantry, going for mass battlecopters is always a possibility. Luckily for Grit, his ATR is just adequate enough to deal with the battlecopters now. Mech artillery anti-air. Everything's falling back. Battlecopter, tank, and infantry. Grit's managed to recapture 1 property. Back down or up to a 6,000 fund difference. Infantry, and missile. Battlecopter, recon, infantry. Another 5 unit deployment. Anti-air does finish off the infantry unit there, and does finish off that one there. Artillery strikes the infantry unit there. Yep. Aircraft cannot hide on a forest, they float above it. Mech artillery. He does have a T-copter to help push the mechs forward, which is good. But there is a large number of battlecopters there. Grit needs more anti-airs. And we got a full max blast here. This could do some good work. Problem is vision. And there's no infantry unit on top of this mountain for that, so he's going to have to solely rely on tanks and their decent vision range. Battlecopters also have 3 vision range. HQ does save the artillery, at least for 1 shot. Does hit the mech there on top of the mountain. Hits the anti-air. The missile is now in range. The missile knows where it's at, because it knows where it's not at. I mean, go good hits down there, good strides. The anti-airs are still hitting the force. And does he actually need to pop a sniper attack? He does not need to pop sniper attack to boost his anti-airs. And his artillery needs a super sniper to reach this one, right? 1, 2. No, super sniper can't reach that one. With a super sniper, he can reach against this one, but even then, this one's in range. I don't think there's even a case to pop a sniper attack this turn. He pops a sniper attack this turn. No, I suppose I did allow him to finish off some of the tanks there. And he does pop nothing on top of that comm tower, so he could try to grab it, but he's lacking infantry in that flank. Mech gets a shot there. Anti-air. 200 funds remaining, so nothing else. 113 versus 124,000 on the field. Interrupts the capture there. He will die. Hits the A-tier twice. And now hits the other one. It will at least get healed up a little bit. And hits the missile twice with the tanks there. At least with that missile, as long as you got one battle cover, it paid for a significant amount for itself. And throwing a lot of stuff on that anti-air. It's barely alive. Of course, a lot of those anti-airs are still not range of stuff. Missile does a good shot there. Mech does a good shot. Okay, so the recon hits the infantry unit there. Oh, that was not a full health. Bit of a caster vision bug. Oh, enjoy. This game will continue. Does hit the battle cup for a little bit. Finish off that tank there. 108 versus 107, so Max has about a full turn ahead. He also has quite a bit of fun sorting up. Is there any units that are not limited? Can get a mega tank. That's not limited. Stealth is available. Which, do you really need a stealth against I suppose you can go for a stealth against Grit. Honestly, Grit could eye for a fire to deal for the battlecopters. Max does not have any anti-airs in the field. He's not been building any anti-airs, so a Grit fighter wouldn't be half bad. The problem is his day-to-day funding is not great, 17,000. So a fighter's a little bit too expensive for him. Battlecopter, tank, infantry, and another battlecopter. Anti-air, artillery, infantry. A large number of battlecopters swarming down south. Yeah, 2 T-copters is, well, he does need to push the infantry quite far forward, so. Does pick off that tank there. Does spot the battlecopter, which the anti-air cannot range it because there's infantry units down the way. And we do also have this max anti-air in range of spawning the airport, so. It managed to squeeze its way over there. Does spot whatever's being put on the base as well. Oh wait, no, anti-airs only have 2 vision range, not 3, so... Still quite nice to have anti-air to spot the base, and everything is spotted field, sees the mech. And Max is making pretty good headway down south. I don't think I've ever seen a conflict down here before. Does hit the mech there, and there again. Holds up T-copters, constantly boosting infantry units forward. Max does have an anti-air down here to spot the base, and not to mention battlecopters are right here. 117 versus 155, so Max is still quite far ahead, and somehow the battle managed to reach this base here. I don't think I've ever seen that, at least in a game where one's completely being crushed. Grit is behind, but I don't feel like he's crushed at the moment. And he's going to get a great counterattack here off all these anti-airs. Enough superpower gets trapped by the tank, which allows the artillery to range it. Hits a battle tank there. So missed out picking off another battlecopter there. His tank is in vision range of this base, so now we have a spotter right there, which he could just leave the 2-off tank there for another spotting. Able to spot 2 bases. T-copter, battlecopter, infantry, and infantry. We may see a max force, may see a max blast. You can see a full max blast. This is day 30. Max is in pretty good position. Does even sack Battlecopter on top of the anti-airs. Managed to recapture this comm tower down south. And this is what happens if you B-copter spam. Yep, and since there's 2 airports and 3 bases to pull out more infantry, Max is going to have plenty of infantry and battlecopters on the field. And Grit's anti-air, like I said, is still adequate, though now since he's lost his comm tower, is now a bit more of a coin flip, weighted in his favor. Full sniper attack there, so now it won't be weighted in his, it will be guaranteed kills of his anti-airs. T-copter heading up north, not load up anything, 21 fuel remaining. Interrupts that capture, he can't be letting these products be captured, he's going to lose another one. Does get trapped there, does spot this tank there. Infantry, recon, mech, and battlecopter. And Grit right now is actually ahead in value right now, 128 versus 104. Max may have overextended trying to attack the southern base. Hits the mech twice, but he's in range of artillery. And also in range of this artillery. Tank, infantry, and battlecopter. That's another battlecopter there. $24,000 for 16,000. This income difference has been very painful for Grit. But he's starting to stabilize on the left flank. Does get a big round of infantry and going for battlecopters. He's forced to build battlecopters just so he can get more infantry on the field, if that makes any sense. The problem is that Grit faces is what is his win condition. True. Max has been doing a good job producing mass, not super heavy units there. There's no reason to pull out neo tanks nor medium tanks. Just go for tanks, recons, and battlecopters. Starting to hit some of these tanks or artillery pieces now. Battlecopter, recon, infantry. Einstein of 123. Grit has 116. And you do have another sniper attack there. Does spot that infantry unit there, will gun it down. Puts the other one on top of the HQ. And Grit's battlecopters does counterattack and finish off with the battlecopters. And Max has no anti-airs in the field, but he can just use battlecopters to defeat battlecopters. And having the battlecopters strike the battlecopters means they can be good bait for his anti-airs, so. Got another Max force deployed on field. Does take out a battlecopter there. Battlecopter does go down. Battlecopter hits the mech. Hits the mech again. Anti-air get hit, but got a couple artillery pieces now in range. This infantry unit there. Got another artillery piece potentially in range. Infantry, tank, and battlecopter. In terms of 121 versus 102, but a lot of stuff is range of the Grit's artillery. That's in the auxiliary and gets trapped there. One health anti-air still in this region, so is able to spot more anti-airs. Sacks the battlecopter there, gets some damage to the battlecopter. Sacks the anti-air there to get a bit of damage from the battlecopter. Anti-air, artillery, infantry. Does get some good strikes there. Finish off the T-copter. I think that one was down to like minimal fuel, wasn't it? Or maybe already got refueled. His artillery is actually running low on ammo. And this one's also running low on ammo as well. K to kill the death ratio. I'm not sure there's any way for me to look that up. Infantry, tank, and battlecopter. Log. Oh, let's see, I maybe will look at the log and so nope, those just a list of views. Stats, here we go. Let's see, for grit, 195 kills versus 167 deaths. Generated kill so yeah, decent kill to death ratio for grit. Never really had to look that up. We've got another sniper attack deployed in the field. Number of tanks going on down. Infantry trying to flip that property, trying to continue to capture the comm tower, but could be interrupted even further. Mech. Infantry, mech, and battlecopter. And after that, stats. 195 kills versus 167 deaths. And of course, more deaths than kills. Somehow. Generated that much value, has currently that value. Well, the kill death ratio is for the whole game, I think. Yep, I think so. Let's pick up an anti-air there. Max has been maintaining a massive income advantage. Right now, Max has 33% more income than Grit, or Grit has 25% less income than Max. So that is something very big at the moment. Though right now they've been staying pretty low. In fact, they're getting a little bit low in value, 88 versus 103. So Max still has about half turn ahead, but still. It's not tracked turn by turn. Okay, so some battlecopters there. Does get some good hits. Start flipping some properties. This compound still captured by Max. And so these artillery running low on ammo and fuel. That's actually really impressive. This one could be resupplied of resources and then merge in the 8 one or 9 health one. Max getting good counterattack there, taking off some of those outlying units there, but raising some more of artillery pieces such as this one here, but spotting some issue. And we've got battlecopters over here, no anti-airs, so Max may need to, or Grit may need to plot some more anti-airs. Tank, and infantry with another battlecopter. Number of good picks there. Another Max Blast is available. He does spot the battlecopter. So I'll pull back up north. 14 fuel. Will be resupplied relatively soon. Anti-air, and infantry. Realize you need more anti-air. Pulling back some tanks in the center. Battlecop sitting down south. Looks like both players are cooling down. Both players now actually have equal value, 104 versus 104. It's still a massive income disparity. One capture progress remaining. Can use the 2 elf unit to provide a little extra meat shield, though he does have artillery cover, so anything he pushes forward to try to interrupt it, 1 capture progress remaining, he has to fully stop it. He will get obliterated by artillery. Infantry, artillery. Max right now is 29,000. I would say like, oh, we can go for a Neo Tank or Bomber, but he simply does not need that extra firepower. Double Battlecopter would just go along better for him than full Bomber. Battlecopter, tank, and infantry. Does get trapped there. Missile artillery infantry. It's the anti-air. Now the battlecopter strikes the infantry there. 10 capture parts remaining. And now 0. Hits the what's it called? Anti-air again. The anti-air could push forward. Nope, can't push forward on top of the comm tower, because that would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Need a 7th movement spot to get there. And right now, all this stuff should be out of vision range as well, so the anti-air can't see the battlecopter. We'll need a spot to get over there. Battlecopter, infantry, tank, infantry, battlecopter. Heads up for that one at least. Missile moves only 1 tile in forest. Ugh. Takes off a number of those units there. Hits the tank there twice. Anti-air infantry, recon infantry. $120 versus 108. It is now turn 40. Get the infantry there as well. Anti-air does go down, spots one of the artillery pieces, softening it up a little bit. I mentioned this artillery piece in range. Helicopter push down south. Anti-air is in range of this battlecopter. And it's 1 health anti-air, still providing good vision. Takes out a couple more units there, just leaving the battlecopters nearby. Missile somewhat in range, but sniper attack and will protect some of the artillery. Artillery, anti-air, and infantry. Could see a power or a superpower. Leslie's not going for either. These units are going right into artillery line. These artillery pieces slowly gain enough ammo. 1 ammo left on this one. I love when I see artillery out of ammo. You know it's done good work if it's out of ammo. Battlecopter, infantry, recon, infantry. Oh, the missile's not in range, but a sniper attack would be. And now this artillery is out of ammo. Battlecopter, infantry, and infantry. 125,000 versus 113. Got a swarm of battlecopters down south, a full flock of them to do one big sortie again. Infantry, recon, tank. Well, recon does get a good amount of spotting there, but of course the comm tower is not being captured. It's one of the battlecopters. Anti-air, infantry. It's the recon. Interrupts the capture. I think this missile may be in range. Needs a sniper attack to be in range. Hits the recon up there. Hits all those units. Infantry, anti-air. Tank will strike the anti-air. It hits that unit there. Hits the anti-air. Strikes the artillery there and there. Push before, does strike the artillery over there. Battlecopter, infantry, recon, infantry. What is the kill death ratio? 100. Wait, that's not going up, isn't it? That's staying stagnant. That's not updating, looks like. Oh, you think that's for the entire game? Got it. Not for all what's updated so far. That's what he meant by that. Oh well. Infantry, and battlecopter. Now I understand what you guys were talking about. I thought it was like, not necessarily what it was like that per turn, but for the entire game from start to finish. Got it. Now before max force now deployed in the field. Does get some good strikes in the artillery, making good headway down there. The missile is in range and has a target-rich environment. Strikes some artillery there. Interrupts the capture. Maintaining the capture lead is important. Battlecopter, tank, and infantry. And here comes another sniper attack. So has not been able to resecure that comm tower. And here it gets a pick off there. Does take out multiple battlecopters. All the battlecopters go down south. Go down south. Blah. Battlecopter, anti-air, infantry. Problem is, there's a lot of tanks there, so he is lacking things to fight these tanks. Has enough meat shields for him, the anti-air, so maybe should have come for more artillery down south now. 118 versus 127. Battlecopter strike battlecopter, but there's a battlecopter in range. And of course, all the fog of war there gives Grit a bit of advantage down south when it's during Max's turn. Then he sort of loses it when it's his turn. Does take out the battlecopter down there. Infantry push forward, trying to capture some properties. T-copter down to 15 fuel. ATRs will spot a whole bunch of stuff. 2 artillery in range in the battlecopter, so Grit looks like will win down south. His artillery line up north is still holding pretty strong, though a little bit less. Just pick off a couple units there. Picks up another 8 artillery up north. Max started to refocus over here, and Grit is lacking some assets up there. He has only 1 ATR versus all the swarm battlecopters. That ATR finally moved on top of the base because it's empty. And that means there's not enough reinforcements here. This is a bit of a problem. He probably needs to pull a battlecopter there to clean it up, or send this infantry over here to clean it up. This is actually a really good play. It was a scout. No, it is a bit more of a scout. Does wound the other battlecopter there. If you're moving towards that ATR there now. Missile gets another kill. Artillery knocking out some stuff. Takes out that tank. You got a APC deploying field because it actually does need some fuel, ammo for a lot of stuff. So surprised now we've only seen the APC. Nope, gets trapped there. Now got a max force once again. Does hit that artillery, just leaving 1 artillery remaining. This one has 4 ammo. Interrupts the capture there. Does spot the next battlecopter. This battlecopter should probably hit the other healthy battlecopter. Hits the anti-air. The missile is actually getting down to 2 ammo. The missile's almost out of ammo. And pulls back the anti-air just to be annoying. Sniper attack firing. Picks off another of those ground units there. Battle comes to the region, so now the missile just needs to be reloaded. He probably does not really need to get an anti-air down there. He does need reinforcements up north. Go for more battle copters to help stabilize the region. Artillery, infantry, infantry. Does spot the artillery once again. The anti-air is down to 17 fuel. So I'm going to do that for maybe 3 or 4 more times the amount of fuel he has left. Battlecopter getting hit by a lot of battlecopters. It does spot this artillery there, so now the recon can strike it. Half health. Can at least interrupt the capture there. You can't be conceding any more properties. Resupplies the missile. And now trying to finally reflip this comm tower. He has artillery and missile fire support. Tank, artillery. Wait, is this the first tank that grid deployed this entire game? Am I going crazy? Also, this is now turn 50. Sacks the battlecopter there. You probably send more battlecopters into it just to wound it even further. But Max is making good headway on the right side. Battlecopter, infantry, 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 and battlecopter. 18 units versus 29. It's the income deficit what's keeping Max feeling his war machine. 123,000 for 74. Brit is about 3 turns behind. Trying to flip another property again. Finish off the tank there. Can't be interrupted by this battlecopter. We'll have to be sacking it though. Another battlecopter, infantry, infantry, infantry. And does get trapped on this recon here. We're starting to get overrun up north. In fact, the comm tower is not being captured. Battlecopter, tank, tank, and infantry. Artillery, artillery, and infantry. He spots the 1 health anti-air once again. He has been maintaining good entire vision of this region. And something just ran out of fuel. Wasn't paying attention to what it was. 4 capture progress remaining. It's the artillery there. I think at this point in time, Grit is just going to lose the game. Having a proxy airport is going to cause massive issues. A missile can help lock it down though, but still, he's down by 10,000 income. Battlecopter, tank, tank, and infantry. Does pop another sniper attack there. Has 55,000 fuel for 122. Yep, I think Max is just starting to steamroll. Takes out the T-copter. And finally recapture that comm tower again. At this point in time, Max needed or Grit needed to deploy a medium tank here, but he just does not have the monies for it. And now this airport's captured. Max Blast popped once again. His Max Blast cost 151,000 versus 162. And the 1 health anti-air once gets on top of another building to base lock it. Yep, down to 2 production structures, 2 bases. Luckily, Grit has enough income to keep those going, which is not a good thing. Battlecopter, tank, tank, and infantry. Missile takes on another target. Another sniper attack. You can now build something there, but has only 14,000 funds. Goes for recon, A-tier infantry. And now captured the comm tower number 4. Max just needs actually one more property capture and he wins the game through capture. Tank, and infantry with a proxy battlecopter. He does interrupt those 2 captures, so no capture victory. Join captures, join capture. 9 and 8 capture progress. Does get trapped there. Another proxy battlecopter. Tank, battlecopter, and infantry, so got another 5-unit deployment. Missile claims another kill. Interrupts the capture a little bit further. This one has captured by more than 1 turn now. Battlecopter, infantry, artillery, and infantry. 13,000 income for 27. I think right now, Gritch is letting it ride. Build a bomber. It's also not super important. Infantry recon. He does go for a bomber. Interrupts the capture once again. And when this property gets captured, he will win. And this is just pops the power. I wonder if he doesn't realize that if he has a capture victory. Because I have to install a plugin for this. Another bomber. And capture victory. Oh, I suppose I had this up here. Whoops, my apology if you saw who won and lost that earlier. But either way, it's Angrade saying thank you for watching and on to the next replay. If you please give me a moment, I need to use restroom. You mentioned a replay you want me to cast. Can you just repost that for me once again? Please give me a moment. My apologies, I'm back. Okay, let me see. Yep, if I scroll up my YouTube. Wait, I have to type in manually. Let's see. And there we go. That's the replay that you requested. And let's see. You want to fix everything here. And there we go. Oh, this is high funds as well. Good to notice that first. Greetings everyone, and Great here with another Advanced Wars by Web replay. So on the north side as the Green Earth Coal, we got Classy Warrior 250 underscore. So on the south side as the what's it called again? Amber Blossom Sammy, we got Preacher of Dune. Sorry, got a little bit stacked there, so I got a bit confused by the name. Either way, let's get started. This map is a high funds map. So this could be quite interesting. There's also compound next to airports, so you have to get a T-copter over there. This is a 3-base map between Sammy and Cole. Sammy, of course, is the infantry commander, but high funds would suggest her she probably won't be trying to capture as much or deploying as much infantry, or she's going to be focusing more of a core ass of elite units and have still a good stream of infantry to be used. Guess we'll have to wait and see. Tank infantry and infantry. So we've got the first tank in the field. Now it's high funds, so it's going to be up and going pretty quickly. Black on top of the lab, and it looks like there's only one lab for both sides, so it's effectively an HQ that does not provide income and has less defense stars. Which does make a difference when it comes to high funds maps, so both players don't get additional 2,000 income. Now thinking about it. So probably a conscious map design there. Interrupts are captured there, or nope, it's Sammy. Not interrupted, by far. Tank, so got a good number of tanks by Cole. Cole does get plus some firepower from roads. Get out of there. So there's a decent number of roads here, but there's also a number of bridges here, which means no firepower bonuses from Cole. First, I think Cole should get a buff where he also gets firepower bonuses from bridges, because that would make a bit more sense. And if players don't want him to get firepower bonuses on top of bridges, then they can put shores there. Because effectively, the only thing different is how stuff gets dropped off, but still. Did push forward, A-tier can't range that battle cover, so found a dead zone there. Or should I call it a live zone, since the battle cover stays alive. This map also seems a little bit small for high funds. I'm so used to larger maps for high funds, but we got tank, mech, and battlecopter. Simon's probably going to go heavy mounted aircraft with high funds. And still not... Oh, there's a comm tower not being secured. This comm tower for both sides can be secured. I think there was no adder choice. Can't say for sure, because I don't know. Anti-air, and tank. From the northern comm tower now. Does hit the battlecopter. Artillery strikes the tank, and tank strikes tank. Tank, and T-copter. Force March now, or double time's now available. Force March is soon to be available. Does not interrupt the capture up there. Does hit the infantry unit there. Tanks falling in back. Neo-tank, infantry, and battlecopter. That tank goes on down. Sam has quite a bit of force down south. She could always eye for a force to threaten the black boat there for a Victory March victory. Oh, we got a force march now deployed in the field, getting plus additional 10% firepower bonus on roads among possible movement range. Plus one movement range is pretty much the majority of the effective power. Does strike the black boat there for 1 point of damage. Good push down south. 1 health anti-air can't do much versus the battlecopter, even 4 health battlecopter. Large number of semi-mechs there, but they're not going to do much versus the battlecopter, but can do some damage versus the tanks, such as getting boosted what's it called? The best case scenario, fire from a mountaintop onto a tank. And does go for the double time there just to get extra firepower bonuses, so that could get a good strike there from the mountaintop, and then the anti could get on top of these planes here, fire a shot onto that tank as well. Gets a good amount of damage there. And the extra firepower bonus is coming very much in handy. Even use machine gun bullets there. Neo tank advancing. Now properties up more north being captured. Got 32 versus 34,000 at the moment. Interrupts that capture. Mech, tank, and Neo tank. It may be better for it to go for a bit heavy and bombers. Well, it's hard to say. More strikes on those tanks there, so those tanks are going on down. Join captures there. Gets this tank twice. Okay, so the mech there, battlecopter on the battlecopter. There's that infantry unit there. And does not interrupt this capture, has 3 health remaining, which means it should get... No, wait. It rounds down, so that will be 4 capture progress, so will interrupt the capture. So it's down to 1 capture progress. And putting some rounds at black boat. Get out of my way. Mech is a good strike there. Neo tank somehow does not manage to one-shot the tank there. I suppose Sammy's minus firepower has become a bit of a problem, so she does have 2 column towers. Mech, tank, and another Neo tank. And do have a coal bomber push way forward over here. Now got a force march. Could have done that before moving the bomber to get 1 extra range forward. Though 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Nope, it's in range. If she breaks through those 2 units somehow. Does get a good amount of hits there. Using the wall of tank just be a bit of a meat shield, slowing down Sammy's advance out of her own base. Cole's getting ever good position right now, able to get some good progress here. Just have to be careful about this lab. If Cole takes out the anti-air, then he could delete the black boat and put a bomber on top of it, and Sammy's not going to be able to displace that very easily. Neo tank forced to shoot against a 1 health tank, and maybe better to shoot the full health Neo tank or infantry. Sammy's going to pull back up north. Artillery, anti-air, tank, battlecopter. Both players at 36,000 income. We still got a pair of properties despicably neutral. Now there's only 1 property despicably neutral. I mentioned a nice income lead for Cole. Get a booster strike there onto that tank. Neo tank strikes Neo tank. Neo tank gets a booster strike on the Neo tank. Could have gone for that one first with extra firepower. But then again, the other side has extra defense, so pros and cons. Neo tank, anti-air, battlecopter, infantry. Let's see, got that tank there, but the Neo tank still surrounded. Slowly whittling down that black boat. Sammy's eyeing for the victory march. She has her victory march available. She's been 5 tiles here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So both are in range. Cole needs to get something else onto that HQ. One thing Cole could do is delete the black boat, move the anti-air on top of the HQ, and then take out the battlecopter with the Neo tank still in range. Cole needs to probably throw some bodies in front of the Neo tank. Because Cole should start realizing the fact there is a victory condition. Trail of Woe has been fully summoned. A victory march, if you will, a victory march condition. Allows them the Neo Tank managed to sprint from the base to that tank. Now the bomber managed to nuke the Neo Tank. Okay, this area feels much more secure now. Puts the anti-air in between the two as well. So even with a victory march, can't get around. And dogpile on the HQ. I'm perfectly fine with that. He knows that this is the only winning condition Sammy has left. Right now she has 97 versus 187. So dogpiling the HQ is a good idea versus Sami. If you can afford to spend it. Neo Tank, anti-air, infantry, and battlecopter. Mech does get a strike there. Neo Tank strikes infantry in there. Launch them victory march. Capturing properties could allow her to get some extra income. Right now she's 10,000 income behind. Gets a good hit there on the bomber. And put some rounds on the bomber. This could be also a last hurrah sort of move as well. Neo Tank mech. Capture property. So she's not resigned just yet. But I don't think she got a single property capture there in that entire turn. And looks like Simon does resign mid-turn. Zangrade saying, "Thank you for watching," and on to the next replay. And I probably have time for one last replay for tonight. Let's see, this is the one I did, so delete this one. This should be pretty fun. That seems pretty good. Greetings everyone, and Great here with another Advanced Wars by Web replay. As well on the south side is the Yellow Comet Von Bolt. We got Tank Tactician, which is very close to one of my old favorite first games I ever played, Tank Tix. As well on the north side is the, was this White Nova? Yep, White Nova Hawk. We got Giulio Orochi. You're welcome. And let's get started. This is a standard Fog of War game. We got, what, 3 bases map, pair of compounds off the side, 2 more compounds in the corners with airports as well. Also got some harbors here to harbor a Grudge. Black boat here, so both players use our black boat to get to the island. And tank now deployed in the field as well. Recon. We got double recon this turn by Hawk, which the missile here does spot. Both players 2-star free missiles. Very unlikely going to be able to lock down your opponent's airport with that. It's more than 5 tiles away. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So the missile has to be on top of the shore tile. That's not going to happen. Tank, infantry, and infantry. This artillery may be used to displace this pipe scene from existence. Tank, infantry, and infantry. The missile does have good spotting over here. This tank should be able to get a good first shot to something in this region. Perhaps the capturing infantry squad right there. It hits one more open ground if at it. Probably best hit the captain squad. This infantry can follow up and shoot, finish it off. He does have a couple infantry units just nearby in general for it. Does not enjoy this capture there. Worried about any retaliation. Does not have a tank to support its retaliation, so I understand. Tank, recon, and infantry. does get trapped there, hits the infantry unit that's capturing, and will finish it off. Tank, and infantry. Pipe has 55% health remaining. It does finish off there with the tank. And the missile does take out the battle copter. So the free missile did something. The missile does have self-spotting, so very nice. I was not paying close enough attention to that. So Hawk got or Vombo got a pretty easy first kill there. That's actually probably really put Hawk in a bad mood with that. And putting the missile towards your opponent's side's airport side is not a bad idea because it helps provide you from fireport. But Hawk is moving around his missile. Does of course have recon spotting range. It can have self-spotting, which is very nice. Infantry, battlecopter, tank, and infantry. Does hit the pipe seam there. Tank, anti-air, and infantry. Teacup moving over to the left in order to pick up the mech likely. Making good progress on the right side as well. Does go for another battlecopter down south. Sent infantry twice. Does have the missile spotted, so knows to stay out of range of it. With that missile region, this battlecopter cannot push forward. At least not too far forward. Neo tank infantry. Couple tanks here. Only one tank here for Hawk. So Vombolt's right side's doing quite well. Not to mention he has a tank over here as well. Vombolt's largely on defense over here, but has enough infantry to protect his stuff. The missile is being very well supported. Battlecopter is of course out of range, but it will prevent the battlecopter from pushing forward. He does have vision of the missile thanks to his recon. As his pipe seam's not destroyed, there's no easy reinforcement path over here as well. Maybe a good idea for Pink to go for a rocket and put on top of this one of these 3 tiles there. There's also over here as well to start pushing around. Interrupts the capture. Mech is in range though. Infantry and Neo tanks, so it looks like going for a chain of Neo tanks. Vombolt did save 10,000 funds last turn, and Hawk is at 23,000 income, so slight savings. He can go for a Neo tank every single turn. The number of properties still despicably neutral in the map. Vombolt is ahead by 2,000 income. Another mech there. Mech gets a good strike there. Finish off the tank. Trying to capture the property once again. And trying to flip some of these properties in the center. Very nice. ATR push way forward. The missile is exposed, so may just want to head down and just retreat away for now. Does get some good hits there. Hawk could launch a Black Storm if he so choose. Won't get much health regeneration. Looks like a tank and infantry unit there. Recon finishes off the infantry unit there. Neo tank takes out the regular tank. And Vombolt does have a medium tank down south, which can be very nice. And these Neo tanks gotta be careful. An Ex Machina can lock them both down. Right hits on the left. Good shot in the battlecopter. Finish off the anti-air. And more mechs being pushed on forward. Got nice core tanks there. Artillery in position to provide some fire support to that Neo versus Neo tank. Another medium tank, recon, and mechs. Looks like he's largely relying on the medium tanks to deal with the Neo tanks. Black Storm, however, is almost available. Likely can be deployed out this turn. I think he's just trying to edge out enough for the Black Storm before it pushes forward. Yes, he is. It's the recon. Neo tank now in range. And this is likely an Ex Machina target. Can Ex Machina strike both these Neo tanks? No. But Ex Machina will likely strike right here. If he wants Ex Machina to strike right there, he should probably move or sack this 3 health infantry into there. It struck both the Neo tanks, didn't it? Let's see. 9,000, 7,000. Let's see, 9, 7. So that'll be 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21. So yeah, my offhand math suggests that's 21. This makes, of course, another 22 versus 222. So it looks like it did strike back here. So it was going to strike here regardless if this infantry was existed there or not. Does strike the Neo tank there. Medium tank will get a first strike there as well, knocking down the 1 health. Mech will take it out. Another medium tank in range. Artillery is getting low on ammo. While that Ex Machina is not locked on his flank, which has mostly composed of infantry, the fact that it did strike, it could have struck right here and hit. No, never mind. This also does deny the valuable reinforcements from pushing his way forward, though they're safe, but there's going to be he's going to lose a lot of ground, a lot of stuff over here, to say the least. Rigging up this medium Neo tank a little bit could be quite nice. Help join into, say, the 7 health Neo tank. Does find the artillery piece. Battlecopter, tank, and infantry. 118 versus 118. Only difference is 600 funds. This Black Cloak could push forward and try to get a repair on that infantry unit there, or could move over here to repair up the missile. Though I think a missile can be as low as 7 health, so one-shot battlecopters, so it's not really needed. Missile doesn't end its turn on top of a city, but can always resupply other things in that region, or move up here to resupply stuff in this region. 2 Neo tanks push the way forward. Medium tanks. 1 Neo tank in range of quality. Interrupts that capture there. 24 of 23,000 income, so there's still 1 despicable neutral property. Oh no, it just needed a turn update since he captured a property. Both players have similar income, both players have similar value on the field. Composition is greatly different though. Try a couple more infantry there. Neo tank infantry and mech. Try and flip this property here. This property in turn has been flipped. Strikes the pipe scene quite nicely there. Medium tank will get a first or finish off that Neo tank. And the artillery does manage to push, gets re-healed, rearmed, takes out the missile. Very nice. The missile is still very important. That will, I cast Cup Heroes 1 on every Thursday and Cup Heroes 2 every Tuesday or Wednesday. Mech, infantry. Looks like save some funds there. Is there stealth bombers on this map? Stealth bombers and black bombers. Plus, you can always get a pipe runner. Takes the pipe scene there with the artillery in the auxiliary. Takes the missile in return. And the medium tank gets struck by the Neo tank. Both Neo tanks now in range of the artillery. Not to mention, this medium tank's also in range as well. Von Bolt did take some losses over here, but nothing too significant. Hawk ends turn of 138 versus 119, so he is behind, but he is in a good position. Finish off that Neo tank. Neo tank does fall back, trying to capture that property. Battlecopter hits Battlecopter. Now I do have now Black Wave available. Yes. Everything's Global League. I don't generally know if I do a live league game, but most time I just cast Global League. Bomber, Mech, and Recon. Black Storm deployed in the field. Next turn there's going to be a Ex Machina. 100 unit there does get displaced. Couple good picks here. This Neo tank's in range of this Neo tank, which is quite important. Good chance the Ex Machina will land right here. Very, very good chance. I don't think Hawk's paying close enough attention and playing around Ex Machina because it's going to land right there and it's going to be really bad. Von Bolt should move past, bring back the T-Copter before it gets struck by the Ex Machina. He got hit by the Ex Machina. He should probably have looked at the map and say, hey, there's a good chance the Ex Machina will land there. I don't need the T-Copter there, let me just pull it back before it gets nuked. Nope, not always. It seems actually a lot of stealth or fog war maps have the black bomb not banned. Mech does 0 damage there, just some percentage, great lesser than 10. A-tier infantry mech, and has 3,900 left. Bomber is pushed forward. Looks like Von Bolt's in pretty good position there. Though right now the valley's pretty so even. Player 2 always add the day-to-day funds for player 2. Assuming it's turns to the start rather than the end. Tank A-tier battlecopter and infantry. Oops. Knocked over an empty can. The train of mechs are advancing. Great shots there. Now the Neo tank blocks the path. Not to mention the regular infantry unit blocks the path there. Feels like Von Bolt is in an excellent position right now. Got a Neo tank up north, but we've got a bomber, medium tanks. Even the artillery's been quite useful against them. Resupplies there, and push infantry forward. Mech, anti-air. Funny as well, I rarely ever see black bombs in, even if they are available in Global League. I think they're probably a bit more of a high funds unit as well, because in low funds, it's expensive. Black bomb costs 25,000. It does do quite a bit of damage in a massive radius, but it's actually hard to get that value in a Fog of War, even in a non-Fog of War Global League game that's not high funds. It's actually very situational, but I can more understand why players don't like to fight against it. That just shows up and explodes. It doesn't even walk away, like nothing ever happens. Mech, fighter, infantry. He got out the fighter to counter out the potential fire that may come out to counter the bomber. Does get trapped there. Battlecopter, anti-air, tank, and infantry. Von Bolt has 152,000 versus 113 of Hawks. Battlecopter spots the anti-air, which is quite important. And he's going to take time to strike the anti-air. It will, of course, have a bit of repairs. One thing the Hawk could do is pop his Black Wave to get its health up to 5. The bomber is down to 8 to get a bit more damage to it. Now these units are actually quite wounded there. I think this is actually a good time for a Black Wave. Maybe we'll just get a bit of power charge before that point, but still, this may be a Black Wave turn. Definitely at least a minimum sack the anti-air onto the bomber. Those units there, does take out the recon. Fire push before, get some good damage there. Now he does not have an anti-air in the region to deal with the bomber nor the fighter. He's pretty close to a Black Storm. A lot of students are actually quite wounded. But he is running low on value, that's for sure. 163 versus potentially up to 115. There's a Black Storm. Got a decent amount of health regen on these units over here. Ex Machina's not too far away though. A good push down south. He will lose his battlecopter. Tank, and infantry. In turn 113, a bomb bolt starts turn 112, so still pretty even. But with next superpower is going to be Ex Machina, it's going to be more in favor towards the Von Bolt. And also, I don't know where Ex Machina will land. Maybe right here? Maybe not so much anymore. Right here? Could strike right here. Yeah, I'm not sure where Ex Machina will actually land. He is actually... Hawk is running out of assets very quickly. Battlecopter, infantry, mech. Okay, so the bomber. Medium tank. And mech. Fighter does fall back there. Not popping Ex Machina just yet. He will very likely strike right here. No Ex Machina just yet, which also prevents his opponent from grouping those forces. Recon, mech, battlecopter, and recon again. 21,000 versus 25,000, so income difference is not too high. Infantry. Recon, battlecopter. Recon. Battlecopter, infantry, recon again. So going for a very healthy number of recons. As long as the Ex Machina just looms in threat, does actually influence how Hawk is ending his turn, likely. Yep. Looks like human Mechapede is still ongoing. Does get trapped there again. It's the mech there once again. Medium tank will strike the anti-air. And one health remaining, so it's basically interrupted. Well, basically stopped entirely, I should say. Does hit that tank there. Medium tank will strike the anti-air. In range of a mech shot now. Making good progress there. Mech does get shot there on the tank. Tank will fall up there. Tank will hit tank. And battlecopter strikes battlecopter. Mech does not take a shot at the medium tank. I probably would have done. That. And Ex Machina shot will land right here, definitely. His opponent's just still not casting it and keeping this entire army back here, so Hawk is working with a lot smaller army because he's not popped Ex Machina, he's overreacting to it. Gets some good shots there. Looks trying to push his way forward. Ex Machina, a very likely strike right here. Nearly guaranteed. Hits the Neo Tank. I have a feeling it's going to be Ex Machina next turn. Does hit the battlecopter there. Does finish him off. Fighter does finish battlecopter. Mech hits recon. Recon hits recon. And we have another Black Storm while the entirety of Ex Machina is castable. Maybe held on to the superpower for a little bit too long. Black Storm, of course. He has no reason to hold on to it unless he needs to get some health regen. Oh, let's see, I didn't see your comment. I can't remember if seeing the Black Bomb being used. I think I saw it once in Mang's tournament or something. Medium tank infantry, infantry. And Ex Machina has been summoned, struck right there. Did lock down his own infantry there. Probably struck right here. That's his own infantry unit as well. So pretty good lockdown. Medium tank infantry mech. Answer 132 versus 85. Neo tank infantry forward. And Hawk does go ahead and resign there. This Angrade saying, thank you for watching, and on to the next replay. As mentioned beforehand, this shall be my last replay tonight. My voice is starting to go out. So everyone, thank you for watching, have a good evening, and get some good rest.